Hello, friends. The Social Security Administration has been closing and shrinking offices across the country, and most people don't find out about it until they actually need to walk into one. Not because of a news story, not because of a letter, because they showed up and the doors were locked. That would be frustrating on a normal day. But the SSA didn't just close offices. At the same time, they eliminated phone-based identity verification for most account changes, and they restricted what you can do online without first going through a setup process that a significant number of seniors have never completed. What that means in plain terms, the ways you used to be able to handle your Social Security business, by phone, in person at a nearby office, have been quietly removed, and the replacement system assumes you already have things set up that millions of people don't. Today, I'm going through exactly what changed, which offices closed, what you can no longer do by phone, and the specific steps you need to take right now, before you need them, to make sure your access to your own benefits is protected. Before we get into it, subscribe to this channel right now and turn on the bell. This is exactly what I cover, not the big headlines, the structural changes that happen quietly, that don't come with an announcement, and that cost people real money or real access when they find out too late. The people subscribed here find out before it becomes a problem. Subscribe now and let's get into it. Let's start with the scope of what has happened, because the numbers are more significant than most people realize. Since 2020, the Social Security Administration has closed or consolidated more than 70 field offices across the United States. Some were temporary closures during COVID that never reopened. Some were deliberate consolidations where two offices in a region were merged into one, usually in a location less convenient for both communities they used to serve. In 2025, the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, identified SSA field offices as a target for further cuts. A review of SSA leases flagged dozens of additional locations as candidates for closure, with the goal of reducing the agency's physical footprint as part of broader federal cost cutting. The result is that in many parts of the country, the nearest Social Security office is now significantly farther away than it was 3 years ago. For someone with a car and no mobility issues, that's an inconvenience. But for someone who relies on public transportation, who has mobility limitations, or who lives in a rural area, that distance can be a genuine barrier to accessing benefits they've already earned. And that barrier matters more now than it ever has, because of what happened to phone access at the same time. Until recently, if you needed to make a change to your Social Security account, update your direct deposit, change your address, set up a new benefit, you could do most of that over the phone. You'd call 1-800-772-1213, verify your identity through a series of questions, and the change would be processed. That option is largely gone. As of 2025, the SSA eliminated telephone-based identity verification for account actions involving payment changes or new benefit applications. The official reasoning is fraud prevention, and to be fair, direct deposit fraud targeting Social Security recipients is a real and growing problem. Criminals have used phone-based verification to redirect benefit payments to their own accounts. But here is the problem. The solution SSA chose, eliminating phone verification, didn't come with a replacement that works for everyone. It came with two options. Verify online through your My Social Security account at ssa.gov, or appear in person at a field office. For the millions of Americans who are not comfortable with online account management, SSA's own data shows roughly 6 million Medicare beneficiaries have no home internet access. The only remaining option is to show up in person, at an office that may have closed, or consolidated to a location an hour away. This is not hypothetical. People are being turned away from account changes they need to make, changes that affect their monthly income, because the systems that used to accommodate them no longer exist in the same form. The SSA's answer to all of this is the My Social Security online account at ssa.gov. And to be clear, when it works well. You can check your benefit amount, review your earnings record, update your address, change your direct deposit, and manage most account functions from home at any time. The issue is setup. Creating a My Social Security account requires a valid email address, a U.S. phone number that can receive text messages, and identity verification, either through ID.me, a third-party identity verification service, or through SSA's own verification process. ID.me requires uploading a photo of a government ID and, in many cases, completing a live video selfie. For someone who has never done this before, during a moment when they urgently need to access their account, this process can be confusing and frustrating. The people who get through it quickly are the people who set it up before they had an urgent reason to. The people who struggle are the ones trying to navigate it for the first time while their direct deposit is wrong or their payment didn't arrive. The practical step is simple, but it requires doing it now, not later. Go to ssa.gov and create your My Social Security account today. Walk through the ID verification process while you have time, while you have someone nearby who can help if needed, and while there is no pressure. Once it's done, you can handle almost everything from your phone or computer. The window to do this calmly is open right now. Action. Go to ssa.gov arrow. Sign in or create an account arrow. Complete ID verification arrow. Confirm your benefit details are correct. Takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Do it this week. For the people who do need to visit a Social Security office in person, either because they can't complete online verification or because their issue requires a face-to-face interaction, the experience has changed significantly. Wait times at SSA field offices have increased sharply. A 2025 report from the SSA's Office of Inspector General found that average wait times for in-person appointments at field offices had increased by more than 30% compared to 2022 levels, driven by increased demand, staff reductions, and fewer offices absorbing the same volume of cases. Walk-in visits are now largely discouraged. Most offices prefer or require scheduled appointments for most services, and in many areas, the next available appointment is weeks out. For someone dealing with a payment that stopped unexpectedly, or an overpayment notice demanding a response within 30 days, waiting 3 weeks for an in-person appointment is not a reasonable timeline. What you can do, call 1-800-772-1213 to schedule an appointment before you need one if you know you have something coming up, a filing, a change in circumstances, a question about your record. Don't wait until you're in a time-sensitive situation to find out how long the line is. And if your issue is urgent and you can't get a timely appointment, contact your congressional representative's office. Constituent services offices exist specifically to help constituents navigate federal agency delays and can often accelerate SSA response times in urgent cases. Beyond the office closures, the SSA has also undergone significant staffing reductions in 2025. Reports from early 2025 indicated that the agency was planning to reduce its workforce by approximately 7,000 employees, roughly 12% of its total headcount, as part of federal workforce reduction initiatives. The SSA processes an enormous volume of work: disability claims, retirement applications, overpayment reviews, survivor benefit determinations, appeals. Each of these requires human review. Fewer staff means each of those processes takes longer. If you have a pending application, a disability review, or an appeal in the system right now, build extra time into your expectations. Processing timelines that used to be 3 to 4 months may now run 5 to 6 months or longer, depending on the type of case and the region. More critically, if you are planning to file for benefits in the next 6 to 12 months, file earlier than you think you need to. The conventional advice has always been to file a few months before you want payments to start. In the current environment, that buffer needs to be larger. Here is the honest summary of where things stand. The SSA has reduced its physical presence, reduced its phone-based services, and reduced its staffing, all at the same time. For people who are comfortable online and live near a remaining office, the impact is manageable. For everyone else, the gap between needing help and getting it has widened significantly. The people most at risk are those who have never set up an online account, those who live in areas where the nearest office is now far away, those who are dealing with urgent issues like overpayment notices or missing payments, and those who need to make a change to their direct deposit or address. The protection is preparation. 3 things you can do right now before any of this becomes your problem. First, create your My Social Security account at ssa.gov if you haven't already, this week, not someday. Second, locate your nearest Social Security office and know the phone number. If it has changed or closed, find where the nearest open office is now. That information is at ssa.gov/locator. Third, if you have a family member who receives Social Security and is not comfortable managing this online, help them set up their account or help them understand where to go and who to call. The people who get hurt by these access changes are often the ones who didn't know the landscape had shifted until they needed it. So here is the full picture. More than 70 SSA field offices have closed or consolidated since 2020, with more under review. Phone-based identity verification for payment changes is gone. Your options are now online or in person only. Setting up a My Social Security account at ssa.gov before you need it is no longer optional. It is your primary access point. In-person appointment wait times have increased by more than 30%, and walk-ins are largely gone. Staffing cuts mean processing times across the board are longer. And the people most exposed to all of this are the ones who haven't set up online access and live farther from a remaining office. The window to prepare is right now, while nothing is wrong. Don't wait until a payment is missing to find out how much harder it is to get help than it used to be. Subscribe. Share this with someone you know who receives Social Security and hasn't set up their online account yet. One conversation could save them weeks of problems.